what our jobs is, it's a privilege, absolutely, and it's really exciting to be exploring Mars and creating robotic technologies that explore Mars.
Namaskar, welcome to Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas, and today's show, as every show is special, but today is very special because I have two guests with me who will be talking about cultural understanding. And before I introduce you to them, let me play with words here. And in English literature, we have this alliteration term, that one word that begins with same another word, something like that. So we have Sridhar, Shanmugham, so that is SS. Then we will have Ranjeet, Raghavan, so that is RR. So both of them, welcome. Swagat hai aapka.
Thank you.
Namaste.
And as we are talking about cultural understanding, I would say not exactly, but close to Bhishma Pitama types is Sridhar Shanmugham in New York's cultural landscape. He's a very accomplished classical dancer, but in addition to being dedicated to dance form, he is also very much focused on the spiritual side of Bharat, and he has been a force that mobilized many people and whatnot. But right now he's also active as founder of Sri Shani Mandir, and that Shani Mandir, in addition to conducting worship and other events, also works with kids, and that is where he doesn't look like kid, but he is director of Bal Vihar. So let's begin with you, Raghavanji. Namaste. Ranjeet. So Ranjeet, your smile tells me that coming to ITV studio is something new for you. How it feels to be in a television studio?
Interesting, and it's my first time my entire life. I've never done this before, so a little, I would say, excited and a little worried, maybe.
Very good. So, no, worrying not good, but excited is good. But what happens is, whenever you have something new, there is a sense of eagerness and learning, and that is what kids bring to the table when they come to Bal Vihar and learn about either guitar or singing or dancing. But let me go to you, Sridharji. When you came on the stage for the first time to perform any dance, can you recollect how was the feeling at that time?
Oh, I don't want to go back there because it was the most jittery time. Like, you had your teachers, gurus there, VIP sitting, and then you're performing to an audience which is like, so well versed, knowledgeable. At the same time, you have audience who don't know anything about the art. So you have to do justice, and the responsibility is too much. You sweat 10 times more than what you normally would when you're performing. So it was a sort of an experience for me, which even today when I go back to that, like, my knees rattle a bit. So.
But that first step is very, very important, and they say that 1,000 miles journey begins with one step, and at Bal Vihar, one step towards appreciating and understanding of Indian culture takes place. How you feel this particular phase of experiencing where you come from through cultural flavor is important, Ranjit ji?
When Sridharji told me that Ranjit jump in and kind of lead a group of volunteer teachers, and we have a lot of lovely kids. My daughter, she is 5 years old, and she has been actively participating as a student in Bala Vikas for the past 3 years, and things when she was 3, I guess, yeah. So 3, 4, and this is 5. So and the change which I have seen in my daughter, that made me that pushed me to let's keep on doing it. And I've seen the enthusiasm not just within me, my daughter, my wife. She also is so excited. She's also interested to send my daughter to. That's the that's the urge, or that's the that's the energy, or that pushes me to it's not just my daughter. Our culture should be taught to all our our kids, those new generation kids, so that they understand what our culture is. I am an Indian. I have been born and brought up in India. I came here with my work, for my work. So I have been involved in cultures. I have been involved in temple activities and all those sort of things, but which my child has never.
Okay, so I'll come back to you, and Sridhar ji, he's becoming very emotional, which you right, and I can see the joy when your 3-year, 4-year, 5-year-old child is reciting some mantra, or there is something where you feel the fragrance of Bharat Mata on those beautiful lips of 5-6-year-old.
ॐ गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसाधना ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती दीनामवित्र्यवत् सरस्वत्यै नमः हरिः ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् एते सहस्रमयुतं पाशामृत्योर्मर्त्याय हन्तवे तान् यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वानवयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्.
But Sridhar ji, let's go to the other side. When we say Indian culture, this is such a vast sort of a space. So at many places you see that in the name of Indian culture, they only have Bollywood dance. So talk to me about what is it that you consider is Indian culture?
See, I'm more than calling it Indian culture or Bharat culture. I would go back beyond that to say it's Vedic culture. Now, Vedic culture is again very scientific. If you look at our culture, is like more about the way of life rather than disciplines and what they're giving you, like various other things happening. The way of life is like if you take classical art form. In every classical art form, there is a portion which gives you the scope of improvising in your own way. Like take Bharatanatyam. There is a 1-hour piece which is performed, which is called the Varnam. In the Varnam, the first quarter is formatted and the last quarter is formatted. But the middle 50% is given to the artist who is performing to improvise, to see the creativity. That is the vastness and richness of our culture, because despite giving you the discipline and the knows and do's and don'ts and clause and condition, it also gives you the scope of understanding it deeper and trying to improvise and be more fruitful and creative and share that knowledge with others so it becomes larger.
Gauri Ganesh, Uma Ganesh, Gauri Ganesh, Uma
Ganesh,
Gauri Ganesh, Uma Ganesh,
Gauri Ganesh, Uma Ganesh,
Parvati Nandana Sri Ganesh,
Parvati Nandana Shri Ganesh,
Parvati Nandana Sri Ganesh,
Parvati Nandana Shri Ganesh,
Sharanam Ganesh, Sharanam Ganesh,
Sharanam Ganesh, Sharanam Ganesh,
Sharanam Ganesh, Sharanam Ganesh, Sharanam
Sharanam
Ganesh,
Ganesh,
Sharanam
Sharanam Ganesh.
Parvati Nandana Sri
Becomes
Ganesh.
larger and it becomes larger. It's such a vast, as you said, but for me it's so special that, like, this is the only culture in the entire universe which gives that scope of you can be who you are, at the same time you can explore that magnificent of what it should be and what it can be.
Namaste. Jai Shri Shani Deva. Having been part of the Balavikas program at Sanishwara temple for past 4 years, I can humbly say that this program provides a wonderful platform wherein children learn about the Indian heritage, the Hindu religion, learn to chant shlokas, sing bhajan, practice yoga and meditation, learn about our ancient epics and arts and crafts. It's a wholesome package that helps mold today's generation and know the Indian identity. Let's all support the program and the temple. Thank you.
And who would, I would say that young minds are very creative. They are super creative. You just leave a child alone in a room. For 2 hours, they are very busy. They are super busy. They may be just having one toy in their hand. They are super busy for 2 hours. That is the creativity they have. But suppose you channelize them and you give them this sort of pockets of culture to them. I'm sure they're just going to become, explore on that, build up on that, be creative on that. And they take to be a new person. They know how to coexist. They know about their culture. They know about their foundation. They can be creative. They become a leader. They take care of their inner creativity, like music or dance or singing or whatever they can do. This is what it is. It's only channelizing their energies.
So talking about channelizing their energies in a way which makes them happy is very important.
Ananda Sagara Muralidhara.
Ananda Sagara Muralidhara.
Meera Prabhu Radhe Shyam Venu Gopala.
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 Ananda Sagara Muralidhara. Ananda Sagara Muralidhara. Nanda Yashoda Ananda Kishora. Nanda Yashoda Ananda Kishora. Nanda Yashoda Ananda Kishora. Nanda Yashoda Ananda Kishora. Jai Jai Gokula Bala, Jai Sai Gopala. Jai Jai Gopala Bala, Jai Sai Gopala. Jai Jai Gokula Bala, Jai Sai Gopala.
Jai Jai Gopala Bala, Jai Gopala.
Ananda Sagara Muralidhara. Ananda
Sagara Muralidhara.
Meera Prabhu Radhe Shyam Venu Gopala.
Meera Prabhu Radhe Shyam Venu Gopala.
Nanda Yashoda Ananda Kishora. Nanda Yashoda
Ananda Kishora.
Jai Jai Gokula Bala, Jai Sai Gopala. Jai
Jai Gokula Bala, Jai Sai Gopala.
If it is boring and if it is imposed on them, then there is no fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So discipline a little bit, but it should become a part of their own flow. So there is a subtle difference sometimes. Sometimes you feel that kid is not interested yet, you are pushing him. So talk to me at Bal Vihar, your observation and your experience.
As Sridharji mentioned, right? I mean, we put a kid and ask her or him to do certain things. They will do it for a little period of time, little much, and then they get bored. My daughter is the biggest example for that. Even if she is doing something, she's reading something, she read for 10-15 minutes and then she just shout and say that I'm bored. So when we were, we were planning Balavikas agendas, like, scheduling it. So what we did was, we cannot have everything cultural oriented, because kids, it's difficult. And Sridharji, he always gives with certain examples, and he guide us. So when we were planning, we made sure that kids should not be learning just bhajan or just shlokams. We will have certain activities also. So for example, we have story sessions, and we have categorized our kids into 3 different groups age wise. So little kids like 5, between 3 to 6, right? I guess, yeah. And so we have 3 groups. So story is also, we have 3 volunteer teachers who take story, who who narrates or who tells story to these 3 different group of kids. And for the little kids, it's
what kind of stories?
Moral stories, Panchatantram, and any moral stories which has got a backing of our culture. Any Panchatantra stories, which has a moral, which teach you a lesson, and will help you to utilize or use these morals in your life. Those sort of stories.
So talking about stories, and you want to add something?
No, yeah, it's what it is like the curriculum is built in such a way. We talk about a discipline in a particular program, and also bring something creative. And the creative part is where you tell a story. You take what you've heard from. Why do you like that story? Then again, we go back to a little bit of bhajan session or something like that. Then we again bring them back with arts and craft. And then we have some yoga involved.
So storytelling is done by the teacher?
Children. By the
children. Shani Deva, I am Jayapradha. Balavikas is a wonderful platform offered by Sri Shanishwara Temple. In Balavikas, kids learn sloka, bhajans and moral stories. This all helps them in acquiring the ethical values. The art and the yoga classes in Balavikas is full of fun and creative and all-time kids' favorite. I thank the Balavikas management for enabling the young mind to learn about our rich culture and heritage. Thank you,
Hi, Shani Deva. My name is Rahul, and I'm one of the instructors here at Balavikas. I actually work with the youngest children in our program, 6 years old and younger. I teach moral stories to the children, stories about honesty, gratitude, kindness, responsibility, and we do it in a very fun and interactive way. We have a great time with a lot of laughter and a lot of energy, and it teaches really wonderful life lessons to the children, especially in this environment. It's very important. Introduce one of my students. She's all the way in Indiana while we're in New York. Her name is Siri.
Hi, I like how Ranjeet, Rahul uncle reads stories to us that he made up, or real stories, and I like how he tells us the moral of the story. And sometimes we have to try to guess it, but if we can't guess it, he tells us it. And sometimes we even play Pictionary. I love playing Pictionary. It's really fun.
Namaskaram. My name is Uma and I am from Indiana. My daughter Siri is 5 years old and I enrolled Siri 6 months ago in Balavikas, and she has been enjoying the program thoroughly. Balavikas is a great platform for the kids because they are taught about the Indian culture, as well as they also celebrate the American holidays, and it is totally a voluntary-led organization, and the volunteers in Balavikas are amazing, and I appreciate all their efforts, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Talk to me about the qualities which make a storyteller a good storyteller. Do you guys, while helping them narrate their story, have some pointers for them?
Exactly. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I as a father, I watch, when they interact with the teacher, with the person who is, Raulji's another one of our volunteer teacher. When he tells a story, he asks questions. He asks the kids, for example, you were walking through a market, you were walking through a door, or you were playing around with the kids, what do you do, or those sort of things which will make kids more enthusiastic, and they will start coming up with more different exciting answers, or they come up with a lot of things. And volunteers do what they do is they try to build stories, they try to so it's like making more creative. I mean, being more creative and bringing bringing creativity from the kids, so they get more active, not just listen to the story. Okay, yeah, I know this story, but then there are certain things, exciting or surprises things, which will keep the kids active, and they listen to the story, whole story, or they narrate the whole story.
Namaste everyone, my name is Ruchi Agarwal. I'm Bhagavad Purana teacher here at Bal Vikas. I teach Bhagavad Purana stories to the kids, and we discuss the moral of the stories and how they can help us in our day-to-day life, how they can help us in solving our problems. And through these stories, I teach them our Indian traditions, our culture, and our moral values. These classes are quite inclusive. Everyone can speak and everyone can discuss, participate, and they can express their opinion. So in a way, this enhances their critical thinking and speaking skills. And I'm enjoying these sessions, and I hope the kids are doing the same, and wishing them best of all.
Namaste everyone, my name is Ajay Singh, and I would like to thank all of the teachers in the Bala Vikas. The stories from Guru Purana teaches how anger makes you blind. It shows how kings in the past got blinded with anger and regret their actions.
So let me now interject here and add another information, which is a matter of joy and pride for all of us, along with Sridhar Shanmugham ji, and that relates to the achievement of your son Vishnu Sridharan. We heard about him at various places. You specifically tell us at NASA what is he doing, what he has done.
Oh, he is an aerospace engineer, lead STEM engineer for Jet Professional, JPL, where he's working. And also he was the one who was there with the rover from its initial stage to where till the day it flew into Mars.
Yes.
And now, even it is landing in Mars, he's handling it from here with all that sort of facility, what he's doing. And he's getting all these images that he's getting excited, and he's like,
But talk to me about his initial inclination towards going to NASA, and if you are very briefly narrating a story of your own son, and now we will be looking at you how you narrate that story.
Oh, interesting. He started wanting to become an aerospace engineer when he was 8 months old. I've been telling this to everybody, where he used to point his fingers at the moon and say, either the moon comes down or I have to go to the moon. So that's how he started his journey. And every time, from his 7th grade, he would write his name Vishnu Datta and write aerospace engineer under that.
Wow.
Crazy. I would say, such an amazing kid.
He got it with him.
Yes, he's got with him. And then one other thing is, I've never told him do this and don't do this. That's one part of what it was.
He was not going to listen to you.
Yes, and we kept an eye on him. We kept an eye. It's not that we just closed our eyes for him to do what he wanted to do, but we never instructed or sort of demanded certain things, from which I think he grew to be such a fantastic person. So for me, investing into the future generation is very critical, and that is why I wanted to have Bala Vikas program.
It's such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
Lots and lots of
really a
messages.
pleasure.
And thanks for what you are doing, both of you.
Thank you.
And inspiring conversation with Sridhar Shanmugham ji from Sri Shani Mandir, which actually is Sarva Mangala
Sanishwara
Mandir. And Raghavan, Ranjeet ji, thank you. Lots of good wishes. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. नमस्ते.